The last voice that you can hear is the voice of men. 1 Samuel chapter 8 verses 1. The last voice you can hear is the voice of men. For so many of us here, there are too many voices speaking to us. Men are telling us too many things. It is time to marry. Maybe it is not the time, it's not in God's plan. It is time to have children. It is time to do this, time to do that. And it is the voice of men. Listen, if you are not careful, men will put you into trouble. That's why in 1 Samuel chapter 8 verses 1, and the elders and the men of Israel gathered themselves together, and they went to the prophet Samuel and said, give us a king like the other nations. And God came and said, I don't want this for you, because the other nations, what is happening is that even though they have a king, the king has taken their daughters and their sons as slaves and as wives. You don't want to listen to the voice of men. Listen, for the Bible says that for the heart of man is desperately wicked. One of the things you should pray against is the voice of men that is not in line with the voice of God. The voice of men. Sometimes they are around you, sometimes they are in your family, sometimes they can even be in church, but their voices are dangerous. I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray for you that when men are speaking and it's not in line with God, may you know it. Years after this, they had a king that was called Saul, and Saul began to do the things that God had warned them about, and they did not listen. Because if you are not careful and you listen to men, sometimes they can put you in trouble, especially if those men are not listening from God. It is dangerous to listen to men who are very carnal. It is dangerous to listen to men who are not led by the Spirit. Which means that it is important the people you surround yourself with. It is important the people that give you counsel, because the voice of men can be dangerous. So many people have fallen into trouble because someone told them to do something and they knew in their spirit that this thing was not of God. Listen, be careful. They can be in families, they can be in churches, they can be in your school, they can be at your workplace. The voice of men. And the people of Israel, the men of Israel gathered and came to the prophet and told the prophet that we want you to do this for us. Meanwhile, that voice was the voice that was going to lead them into trouble. Listen, may you receive the discernment to know the voice of men that are not of God. That are not of God. May you not make a mistake by the decisions that you have taken because of a voice that spoke to you. Listen to Jesus. Peter was speaking to him, a close person, and he knew that this is the voice of the devil. This is the voice of a man. I cannot follow this voice. And like I've said, so many of us, we have listened to voices that have put us in trouble. Go and do this. Let us go and do that. Especially in the secondary schools, in the universities. You can have peer pressure. You can have friends that will tell you to do things. And at the end of the day, you would rather be in trouble. May you hear the voice of God. The final voice that you would hear, I want to speak about today, is the voice of the Spirit, the voice of God. Psalm 29 verse 1, the Bible says that, and the voice of the Lord is over the waters. And I've told you already, you see, that how the Bible is saying that the voice of the Lord is over the waters. How is the voice of the Lord over the waters?